Red line dreams, we don't slow down. Engine roar when we hit your town. Missing stars so sharp like a midnight show. Oh gas, no brakes, little no. Oh gas, no brakes, little no. Drift through life with a fearless tone. Every move custom, every vibe is on. Not just a car, it's a way of life. Precision, passion, cutting like a knife. Headlights blaze through the doubt and fear. He's the one they watch, the one they cheer. So buckle up tight.
Oh, sorry. Oh shit, let me get this for you. Hang on. Okay, all right. I've got to get my guest up here. I forgot to send her the link. Hang on just a second. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Copy. Okay. Send this over here. Paste. Shit. So sorry. All right. Let me get this to you. Hang on. Okay. So it is. Hang on. Okay. Just a minute. I got to get her up here. I forgot. HTTPS. Hang on. HTTPS. Dot. // and it is StreamYard .com. Oops. .com. Damn it. /FP 6W 364 KXR. There we go. Okay, good. So silly. I just forgot. Silly. Oh my goodness, what a day. Okay, there you go. So sorry. Get some water. Everybody coming up. Yes. Let's go. Who wants to talk about crazy old Diane Downs? What an idiot. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, let's just say she's not normal. I mean, anybody who would take their own kids, oh, what do you mean it's not working? Oh my God. Whoops, all right, hang on. Let me resend this. Hang on a minute, okay? I'm sorry. Here we go. Let me get her up here. Let me find it again. Here. Let me do this way. I got to get my friend on. It is TTPS. Get my friend to come on up. StreamYard.com. All right. I should have done this on my phone, but I didn't. And then /FP6 364. I mean, FP6W. I forgot the W 364 KXR. I forgot the W. I'm so sorry. That should work. There we go. I think that ought to work. All right. Jeez, I'm so silly. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Now my friend Sprinkle Donut can come up. I sent the wrong one. I'm so sorry. That should work for her. She should be backstage soon, and we can talk about a few things. Girl, I'm telling you, I saw the craziest story today, and I was telling Sprinkle Donut, I said, oh my gosh, we need to come and talk about this because it's weird. You know, it's very weird. Here we go. Add to stage. There you are, friend. Here you are.
There he is.
Girl, my eyeball's itchy. What a day. I was so glad. You know what I ended up doing after my husband left to go to my son's house because they're going to the football game tomorrow. I just put my little bowl of trick-or-treat candy out on a stand, and I put it in front of the iron gates in front of the house, and for them to just take whatever they wanted. Hell, I don't even care if they take the bowl, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I just don't want to deal with it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It's not usually my job. It's usually his job to give out the candy. But anyway, shit. Oh my God.
Whatever works.
I'm like, you're really going to do that? And I said, yeah, I'm really going to do that. I am. I'm like, I don't care if they take the bowl. It's a big plastic bowl. Who gives a crap, right?
Right.
Oh, God, let me turn this up some. Anyway, so I was sitting here. I was really bored. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we just go live? And I saw this weird story. It was about Area 51 where something crashed there yesterday. And I
Oh,
thought, you got to be kidding me. Area 51? So I thought to myself, okay, well, I got to look at this and see what the hell is up there, right? Okay, here we go. It is a strange story about, because you never expect anything to really go on at Area 51, It's some people don't believe that's real. Some people believe it is real. I don't really know. So I'm going to just let me tell you about what it is. At first, I'll just kind of give you a little rundown here. A mysterious object of unknown origin. Okay. It fell from the sky and crashed just outside of Nevada's secretive Area 51 at a military base. And 5 weeks later, the public is still in the dark. They did not even tell us. So I'm going to go grab this off of YouTube. Hang on a second. And please don't let me lose my damn stream this afternoon. That's a never-ending situation. Anyway. Okay. Here's this. Let's get this. Just give me a moment here. Just take a second. Okay. Let's get Area 51. Okay. It's so strange. Oh, stop. Just stop that. Okay. Here we go. Let me get this right here. 1. Now here we go. It's right here. Get this. Okay. Now. I'm going to share our screen. Please let it work today, Lord. Please let it work.
right.
I always have problems. Go. Right. I think it's right here. All right, share. All right, here we go. Yeah, I could go.
For several weeks now about a mysterious object of unknown origin that fell from the sky and crashed just near Area 51. And tonight, the public is still in the dark.
So that crash was quickly covered up, both literally and figuratively. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp thinks the official story, as told by the military, is false.
And we are lucky because George joins us here in the studio with more on what he's now dug up. George.
Well, how quickly might the government respond to a crash of an unknown object? What happened back on September 23rd on public land outside the boundary of Area 51 is a textbook example of how crash retrievals work. And to no one's surprise, pretty much everything told to the public since then is pure fiction.
You can see this as F-18.
Scanners and computers inside this room listen to and record radio traffic inside Area 51 round the clock. On the morning of September 23rd, York Arnew heard some astonishing news.
Had my cup of coffee and I'm listening to Area 51 security, and all of a sudden they get very serious. Locked down the base.
Arnew learned there'd been a large but totally secret air operation in the middle of the night and that something had gone wrong.
So we just had an asset go down. We had an asset go down. This is not Creech security, this is Area 51 security. And they had an asset go down. And then the next thing.
Yeah, clear. Also showing me on the UAV, unmanned aircraft with orbit.
He picked up details about strict security measures which were implemented almost immediately. Not only was Area 51 itself locked down, but within a very short time, so too was a large swath of the Tikaboo Valley. It became clear that some kind of craft had crashed miles outside of Area 51's boundaries on public land adjacent to Highway 375, also known as the ET Highway. Arnew jumped in his truck and headed south from his home in Rachel. But while driving on what's known as Mailbox Road, he ran into an armed patrol.
They had the gun in front of them, not pointed at me, but very visibly in front of them. And it was clear they meant business.
He backtracked and headed south on the ET Highway to Groom Lake Road, the main entrance to the base. It too was blocked off by sheriff's deputies and military security. A military helicopter with an attached basket was sitting there, presumably ready to haul out wreckage of something. A pair of porta potties suggested the team planned to be there.
Now, for fair use, we have to stop every once in a while and kind of talk about it. Now, why are they saying it was ours? It was ours. And putting porta potties out there. What the hell's really going on? What is this? What's up? You know, I don't trust it because our own government has hid from us many, many things. Sprinkle, what's your thought?
Yeah, they'll never tell us the truth. They'll never tell us the truth. All of that is so convoluted. Everything that goes on there is so convoluted.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, please. I hope this doesn't start making that sound again. That'd be irritating as all get out. You know?
That sounds clear to me tonight.
Oh, good, good. Okay. I think I'm just hearing like some kind of reverb for my own little thing here, I guess. But okay, we're going to turn this back on. But you know, like, okay, we're only hearing about this, and this is much later than when it really happened. Why is it taking so long for somebody to report this? What the hell's going on? Let's turn it back on and find out.
There for a while.
Almost the entire Tikaboo Valley was shut down.
At the Little Ailey Inn in Rachel, employees were in the dark about a crash, but saw the beefed up security at closed off roads and knew something big was unfolding. Crashes are not an everyday occurrence out here, but locals have seen plenty of them over the decades.
If this thing would have crashed anywhere in restricted airspace, in restricted area, we would have never known about it.
After being turned away from the presumed crash site, Arnu and the aerospace sleuths on his website, dreamlandresort.com, began gathering and sharing bits and pieces of information. The FAA had ordered the closure of airspace over a particular spot in the valley. That was a big clue. Then 4 days after the crash, the security teams vanished. Arnu went back out for a look. The Air Force had used heavy equipment to plow a dirt road across a section of desert. Arnu followed it and found what he thought was the crash site, then shared it online. That's when things got strange, even by Area 51 standards. A second wave of cleanup crews descended on the site, presumably to pick up any remaining debris, but they also used graders to cover the entire area with a thick layer of dirt, literally a cover-up. Creech Air Force Base, which is home to a fleet of Reaper drones and other UAVs, issued a statement explaining that the, quote, unmanned aircraft was one of theirs. The same statement claimed someone had been tampering with the crash site and had scattered assorted pieces from other aircraft, along with an inert training bomb. The Air Force said the FBI was investigating this alleged tampering at the site. Arnu was amused but not convinced.
The only thing they could get that person for is littering on public land.
That's the story. As it came from Creech and now the FBI is investigating, you think that's bogus?
That's absolutely bogus. I think that was designed to make people not go there.
Arnu drove back out and realized the site he first videotaped was a staging area, not the crash site. 200 yards away, the telltale burn marks on Joshua trees indicated this was where the object slammed into the earth. Both he and another aerospace explorer found pieces of who knows what, debris that came from something other than a drone, seemingly planted to confuse anyone who came looking. But they also found pieces under the dirt that are likely the real thing.
I'm pretty sure that this piece came off the actual aircraft.
Arnu, who was at the site of a genuine Reaper crash years earlier, says there's no way the Air Force could ever recover every piece of a crashed aircraft. So they added some dirt and sprinkled in some misdirection instead.
If I were them, I would probably do just that.
Is there a good guess about what crashed? Pieces. On the Dreamland Resort website.
They are awful small pieces, aren't they? So what was it really? And him saying, oh, they brought dirt out. Well, now, let me ask you if you know about this or not. Some people may know about it, some people may not know about it. But just the other day, this was like yesterday or day before yesterday, I hear that goddamn noise again. It's driving me insane. It's like this. It's like I can hear myself in something else. It's irritating. Anyway, there was something that came back from something that we sent out to a long time ago. We sent this satellite out to gather information, and they thought that it was gone. It was just dead, whatever. But all of a sudden, it started sending back information. But how it got turned back on, nobody seems to know. So now, I thought that was the strangest thing because now we had this that they were hiding from us. What's really going on? I mean, I don't know if you believe in aliens or not. I don't know if I believe in aliens or not. And I don't know if there are any aliens out there. Could be, could not be. I really don't know. I think it's a very interesting topic to talk about. So, what's your thought on aliens, Sprinkle?
I don't know. Sometimes it just kind of depends on what I see. Sometimes I believe, and then sometimes I don't. But again, we're basing our opinions on what we see on TV or on YouTube or whatever. And some of that stuff cannot be real. So are we really basing our opinion on something that's real or not?
That's the question, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find this picture sent back. Hang on. It was like some kind of a sound wave that came back. I can't stand that noise. Let's see.
I mean, you see these things where people have said that they've come in contact with them and they've had contact with them and connected with them and stuff. When you hear stories like that, it kind of makes it to be true. But are those people really telling the truth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this little story, because I was like, oh no, I can't stand that damn noise. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to turn that down so I can read this without hearing that noise. Okay, so it was like a sound wave sent back from a telescope that was long gone from a, let's see, hang on a second. I was like, how did he get turned back on? Are they just telling us this for the hell of it? Just a second, hang on. I'm going to have to get my earbud too. Sound wave sent back from the satellite that was dead, from satellite. Hang on. It was dead. Or they thought it was dead. Let me just say that. So, here we go. There was a source, scientists recorded a new Earth sound. This was on August the 6th, okay? Now, something in space sends us a radio signal. That was on April 16th. NASA has caught a mysterious signal. It was in April. So what is this strange signal that's coming from the dead galaxy? That's what I want to know. So they called it, where's my earbud? Okay, I don't know. They called this, okay, so astronomers have tracked the origin of a fast radio burst to the edge of an ancient galaxy, suggesting that these mysterious millisecond-long flashes of energy are even weirder than previously thought. The FRBs were discovered nearly 2 decades ago, and most are thought to come from magnetars. Okay, I don't know what that is, but we'll talk about that for a second. So, they're saying that this particular unit was dead since 1967, and all of a sudden it comes back on, and it's sending information. How does that happen? All right, let me turn this sound back on for you, and then I'll turn that back on. What do you think, Sprinkle?
Yeah, that's interesting. It's very interesting.
I don't understand it. Okay, so we're going to turn this back on. I'm going to get my earbud. Here we go.
Members, including former military and retired defense contractors, chimed in. The leading theory is that the drone was one of the latest generation of AI-controlled craft that accompany advanced fighter planes and can act independently to get the job done.
The Next Generation Air Dominance project is the big thing at Area 51. So the pilot flies along and says, hey, there's a target on the ground, drone 1, go check it out, and if it's a bad guy, take care of it. And drone 1 goes and does the rest.
If the military wants to keep a secret about strange things that fall out of the sky, they have many tools at their disposal. Lock down the base, seal off the public land, put out a cover story, sprinkle some disinformation over the whole thing. Arnu says the middle-of-night operation that ended with the crash is one of the biggest he's ever heard of, nicknamed Black Flag. He has a good idea which hangar at the Area 51 base houses the unknown drones, but is not willing to say more. It is, after all, almost 3 years to the day since FBI agents kicked in the door of his home and carted away his computers and cameras. No charges have ever been filed.
Can you imagine that?
And George, what I really like to say is there's so much more behind a press release, right? All
right. So this same guy is saying 3 years ago they kicked in his door and carted away his equipment, but they never charged him with anything. How come? What has he seen, or what has he seen that we have not seen or heard? That's the question, isn't it? It is the question. So Now listen to this. The dead speak humanity has heard a mysterious signal, but the origin is. I'm sorry, Sprinkle, did you say something?
No,
Okay, I can hear that again. Damn it. Okay. So it goes, it's me. I can hear my damn self talking. I don't know what to do about that. Okay. So he goes, the origin is not a broadcast from Star Wars Emperors. It's from another seemingly defunct object. The NASA Relay 2 satellite, which worked for several years in the 60s, appears to have sent a radio pulse back to Earth. Is the satellite back to life? Scientists think that something else might be going on. On June 13th of 2024, researchers at the Australian Square Kilometre Air Raid Pathfinder spotted a peculiar emission in the sky. It was less than 30 nanoseconds, and analysis showed that it did not come from deep space, but from orbit. The location of that signal suggested that the source was an old defunct NASA satellite, which was certainly unexpected. The Relay 1 and Relay 2 were experimental communication satellites funded by NASA. Relay 1 launched in 1962. It was the first satellite to broadcast television from the United States to Japan and Europe, with the first transmissions being the Kennedy assassination, which is just horrible to know, and the Relay 2 launches in 1964. But it operated for just a short time, ceasing operations in September of 1965. Still, the transponders were functional until 1967, when it was no longer heard from. It could be argued until now, but Clancy James at Curtin University in Australia and colleagues do not believe this is the case. Just like beauty, this event is skin deep. One possibility is that the satellite accumulated electrostatic charges and it finally released some kind of discharge. These ESDs, or electronic discharges, have previously been seen by the Arecibo telescope, but on a longer time scales. So strange. This is also another possible explanation for the micrometeoroids, like the one that stranded astronauts a few years back after hitting the Soyuz spacecraft, can release a cloud of plasma at impact. This could cause such a signal if the ESDs are studying it could help researchers protect spacecraft from these events. And while you can't stop a micrometeoroid, measuring these events can help remove them from the radio wave observations. This is such a strange story, While it's not the case this time, there are multiple instances of zombie satellites, or satellites that come back to life after years of inactivity. Okay, now listen. What makes them turn back on? What is out there that shoots enough energy to these unworking satellites or whatever's in orbit to all of a sudden make it come back on? That's what I want to know. Where is it coming from? There's got to be an explanation, right? What is it?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of explanation. My mind wouldn't be able to explain that.
Yeah, I mean, I wished I knew. I wished I had, well, of course, I'm not, we need to talk to some kind of aerospace engineer, some kind of, somebody from NASA that has that kind of intelligence to tell us, well, how in the world can that really happen? You know? Because, there's a lot of people that are going to believe, no matter what you tell them, oh no, that's coming from deep space. That's coming from those people trying to let us know they're out there, they're looking for us. That's what it's going to say.
How could it really happen, or could it really happen? That's the question.
Yeah, I wished I knew that. I wished I knew the question. I wish I knew the answer.
Could it possibly happen?
Anything's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't really know, but I think it's just, here's what it does say. It continues to, it says, take, for example, the Galaxy 15, a telecommunications satellite operated by Intelsat. It was launched in 2005, but in April of 2010, it drifted out of its orbit slot and was lost. Well, the satellite knew where it was, and in December 2010, it rebooted its and Intelsat was able to place it back into its original form. So, I mean, what's built into them that lets them rebuild themselves like that? What, I mean, Lord. Or is there just enough energy out there that I just wonder, I think there's some kind of energy out there that we are not able to measure, right? But I think there's some kind of energy out there that is so strong and has so much of whatever in it that it's causing these things to reboot. That's what I think.
Yeah, could
I mean,
be.
dead, you can't be dead from 1967 to 2025, and all of a sudden turn back on and send back some kind of a wave signal from dead space.
Yeah.
That's just too strange. And anyway, all right. Now, the other thing I want to talk about was crazy old freaking Diane Downs. Let me pull this up. Hang on a second. Hang on. That woman, I read the book. All right. Here we go. Diane Downs parole hearing. She's never going to get out.
She's a piece of work. She thinks that people really believe her. That's what's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, boy. This was one day ago right here. Okay.
That drew national attention decades ago. Diane Downs, the woman convicted of murdering her daughter and trying to kill her 2 other kids, is back up for parole. She appeared before the Oregon Parole Board yesterday. Her case inspired books and movies over the years because of the nature of the crimes. She was convicted in 1984 of the death of her 7-year-old daughter near Springfield. Investigators say Downs shot the little girl, her 2 other children, and even put a bullet in her own forearm. Then she drove them all to the hospital and blamed it on a man who she says tried to carjack the family. In a hearing that lasted several hours, Downs maintained her innocence.
I'm innocent of shooting, but that I am guilty of putting my children in danger. That I have never reconciled.
I know. I wouldn't have recognized her
through all the classes.
Known
I've never
who she
reconciled
was.
that. I can't
been able to guess who that was.
Because there's no excuse for it. There's no changing it.
I mean, when you look at her face, you can tell it. You hear her voice and you look at her face, then you know it's her. But my God, she's not aged well. How old is she? Let's look her up right quick. This is an interesting situation. I mean, really. Hang on a minute. Let me let her know what we're doing over here. Let my friend. Okay. My God. Listen, I hope we age better than that. But we're not in prison. Okay.
I'd like to know how old she was when she went in.
Okay. I'm going to pull her up, and we're going to be doing a little discussion about Miss Diane Downs now. I read the book, and I mean, I was shocked. I remember this whole story. I remember seeing news snippets about her in some little red car, and then walking around doing the reenactment and all this other stuff. And I was like, this bitch is damn crazy. I'm cussing over here.
And then didn't she go into jail pregnant?
I think she was pregnant, or she got pregnant, or let's see. I think she was pregnant.
She was pregnant when she went in.
Let's see. Go find the whole thing. She was convicted of murder, and she spent life in prison with a possibility after 25 years. Right.
She'll never get out.
No, she shouldn't get out.
They'll never
Let
her
story
out.
Here. If they do, I think they're freaking crazy. No, I don't want to look at that. That's the wrong one. Small Sacrifices. That was the book I read.
Yep, that was it.
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. No, don't go there. No. My phone's been going crazy today. I just can't make it do right. I'm just having problems. I don't want to watch somebody's YouTube. I want to read the story myself. All right. In March, listen to this, March 12th of 2010, late one May night in 1983. Oh, this is from 2010. Somebody wrote this. In 1983, Diane Downs sped into an emergency room, she dropped off in Springfield, Oregon, with one horrifying story. Her 3 small children, Christine, Cheryl, and Danny, were inside her blood-soaked car, shot at close range. Here's the thing. Did she really think the surviving child wasn't going to tell somebody?
Right.
I don't understand that.
And she didn't speed to the hospital either. She drove extremely slow to the hospital.
That's right. I remember that.
To the hospital.
I remember that 100%, girl. Sure do. Okay. What is this? I think I just figured out the problem. See this right here? Well, no, you can't see it. But hang on just a second. I want to get rid of that sound. Hang on, guys. I think I might have just...
Looks like we lost some sound. I let her know we didn't have any sound. Hopefully she gets my message. Oh, she went away. She's probably going to come back. She's going to bring herself back, most likely. But I don't know if any of you guys watched this parole hearing. If you haven't, watch it in its entirety because it's really interesting. She's got herself convinced that she is innocent. And she tries really hard to convince everybody else of her story. But the parole board obviously didn't believe her story. And if I remember correctly, I think there was an attorney that adopted the surviving daughter too. Very, very sad situation. You forget about these people until they pop up in the news again, and then you're like, oh gosh, I remember that story. It's horrible. I can't think of the other one that's in jail. She's got dark hair. She just had a parole hearing too, and she was denied. The one that had the boys that she was at the cemetery and she was laughing at doing the silly string. I cannot think of her name. And the silly string video of the funeral of her boys took her down, where she said they broke in and they stabbed the kids and stabbed her, and I cannot think of her name, but she's a notorious one as well. That one I sometimes wonder though if she really was guilty, but then the next hand I think she is. That was a hard one for me. Unfortunately, there's always going to be these notorious child murderers. It's never going to stop. Hopefully Little Red gets this figured out. I don't know. Is anybody in chat? Let me check. I don't see anybody in chat. I think it's just me and Little Red. But I was shocked when I saw her because I was like, I did not recognize her. However, I was on my phone, so I didn't get a big picture of her. I'll have to watch it on my TV to see if I would have guessed who she was. But just looking at my phone, I would have never guessed who it was. Let's look it up and see how old she was when she was convicted. Oh, I can't look it up while I'm on. I know it was in 80. I think it was in 83 though that it happened, or in the early 80s. So 93, 2003, 2013, 2023. So 42 years ago. So give or take, she was probably 25 maybe. So that would make her 67. So she's probably pushing 70. So I guess that kind of equates to what she looks like now. Oh, I don't know if Little Red's coming back or not. So I think maybe we should just call it. Oh, she said she's trying. She's trying to get it figured out. If she doesn't get it here in a little bit, then we can just call it for the night. It's not a big deal. We just wanted to come on for a minute and just talk about a couple things. So Diane Downs, I just happened to see that she had her parole hearing a couple days ago. So I thought that was interesting. I wonder if these women actually go into these parole hearings and actually believe that they're going to get released and are surprised when they don't, or if they are expecting to get turned down. I always wonder that. At least some of them we don't have to deal with the parole. We know they're in there for life, as they should be. I didn't hear if there was any updates as far as Stacey Wander today, if they actually filed all the charges or not. So I don't know what's going on with that one either. I was just really glad they finally decided to put him back in jail. That's another little baby that needs to come home. There's so many little babies out there that need to come home and be laid to rest properly. It's just heartbreaking. Devlin, especially, that one needs to get more attention. Devlin is really one that Little Red and I really, really, really want to have more attention be brought to. I'm going to see if I can text her again and see what she wants to do. If she just wants to call this one for the night and we can try again later, or we can try again tomorrow. I'm going to text her real quick. Okay, I just sent her a text, so we'll see what she says when she answers. If she answers me, she will answer me. So sometimes these systems just aren't so easy to get figured out. Okay, she said we're gonna go ahead and end it for tonight. Anybody who's come in, thanks for coming in, and we will get this stuff figured out, and then we will get with you guys at one point this week. Have a great night, everybody. Okay, I don't know how to end this, so I don't know. We may just continue to go until she can get back on and end it, because I'm just in the studio, so I don't have any control over anything. So if anybody's still in here, we are just going to let it go to silence because I don't have any control. And if she can't get back in, she can't end it. So again, everybody, thank you for coming in, and just ignore the silence, I guess.